Aloha, beautiful souls. Welcome to another episode of A Better World with Adrienne. I'm so excited to drop in with you. I'm so excited to share this episode and really just channel on a topic that I know will change your life. So, I recently, for those of you that are on my email list that follow me on social media, by the way, if you are not on my email list yet, go to the link in my show notes and get on the email list. That's where I send updates. That's where I send special offerings. Seriously, the two places that I pour into the most are my email list and my podcast, and obviously my paying clients. So I recently shared on my email list that I have decided to leave Maui for 6 months. And this was a really, really unexpected change. This was a very unexpected, quick, big change. I thought, oh, I'm relocating to Maui when I came here a year ago. Like, I'm going to be there long term. And I still think I might be here long term. And at the very same time, I'm being guided to something else right now. So I received the invitation from family to come be in Michigan and be at our cottage and all of that for the next 6 months. And I'm doing it. And I really was in this process of like, okay, this is a huge change. This is a huge shift. And I've moved a lot of emotions with it. And I really have come back to this deep knowing of like, life is a game. Life is a game. And that's where this topic, this podcast episode was born out of, was like, okay, if life is a game, like how do you gamify your life and win on repeat? So that's what this topic is. I'm excited to dive into it. It is fun and I know it will support you in whatever you're creating, whatever you're moving through, because when we maintain powerful perspectives like this, we can move through anything. And we can move through anything quicker, with more power, with more self-love and delight and nourishment. So before we dive fully into the episode today, let us call upon the altar. We have a big, beautiful, bright pink Maui rose on the altar today. This is my last week on Maui in this current chapter. And I am just soaking up all the goodness, all the unconditional love, all of the support from the land, all of the magic. So unconditional love is on the altar. I have an unscented white candle burning on the altar, calling in all healed ancestors, all healed guides, Christ consciousness, protection for this transmission. I have my golden citrine Lemurian quartz crystal on the altar and in my hand, bringing in abundance, prosperity, connection, and all of the bloodlines and the past civilizations that have been here on Maui. Reminding us of the ancient codes we are called here to anchor, we are called here to steward. No matter what you're doing, whether you are listening to this on a walk, whether you are driving your car, whether you are sitting with a cup of tea, wherever you are on the globe, the final step in our altar, which is thank you in advance to Spirit, is we take our 3 deep breaths together. So if it feels good, flutter your eyes closed. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Fully arrive in this time, in this day, in this space. Inhale through your nose. Feel your ears open to new messages, new insights for your path moving forward. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale through your nose. Connecting our minds, bodies, and spirits, connecting us to the web of life that ties us together, the earth, the sky, the stars, the trees, the humans, the animals, the plants. Bring an intention to your mind's eye. Why did you press play? What energy are you bringing to the space? Keep holding because you can. Exhale out the mouth. Gently flutter your eyes if you had them closed. And let us open this beautiful, beautiful transmission. Okay, so gamify your life and win on repeat. So as I was saying in the introduction, I've been moving through a major process of like, oh wow, I am leaving Maui for 6 months and I'm just going to see where my life unfolds from there. So that means that I'm moving out of my apartment. I sold my car on Maui. Like I'm doing all of these things that I did about a year ago in Chicago, and it's been a lot for me to process, to metabolize. I've had a lot of grief come up. You know, if you've been listening to the podcast lately, there has been, I've been sharing like little breadcrumbs, and I will share the full behind the scenes one day of a lot of these things. And it was just in a few episodes ago where I was talking about, is there more, purging emotions. And it was very connected to what I've been moving through in this decision. But I had a very clear knowing, a very clear download of like, wow, whatever chapter this is currently here on Maui, like it's done. It's done for right now, and I'm being called elsewhere. I'm being called to the next chapter. I'm being called to the next adventure. It's been deeply disorienting for my human mind. And honestly, like my soul also feels like, yo, we're supposed to be on this land. Like, why are we leaving? Why are we leaving? And it's just been a lot. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. It's been a lot. And I really have been coming back to like, just this deep unconditional trust in the spiritual path and gamifying your life so you can win on repeat. And I was like, okay, if this is a game and like I keep up leveling and I get new challenges at each part of the game and there's new iterations, it's like it's this lens on living that really keeps you in your power no matter what. And it allows you to remember that you are a powerful co-creator with spirit. And it's really important, especially because as a spiritual soul, as someone who's creating a vision and dreams that are important for your soul's mission and part of a better world, having this lens that it's a game really brings some levity to it. And it really reminds us that whatever you believe, you're right. And that this is all a hologram, right? Like everything around you in your life is a result of previous ways of thinking, previous actions, and previous states of your nervous system. Okay, so everything around you is a result. Like everything I'm sitting in, like I'm sitting in my apartment, I'm sitting on Maui, I'm sitting in this body. Like it is all things that I created in the past, right? It's a result of previous thoughts, actions, words, and states of my nervous system, right? And so when we think about this is all a hologram and we choose, it's like whatever you believe, you're right. Right? So like we are evidence collectors. Your brain is always collecting evidence in your life to prove that you are correct. So if you believe all people, people are inherently good, you're automatically going to find evidence of that. Like, oh, this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened, right? And if you believe like, oh, people are inherently bad, then you're going to find, oh, this, all these negatives, right? So our brains are designed to collect evidence to create congruence. What does that mean? Congruence means deep alignment, means deep matching. So your brain really wants to find things that match, to prove that there's an inner harmony, not an inner discord, right? And so this is why, we're evidence collectors. We are evidence collectors. And this is all like a simulation, right? If we go super deep into Joe Dispenza, if we go super deep into quantum creation, all of that, like we are creating our own simulation and we are creating our own reality every single day. Now, does that mean that like the genocide that's happening isn't real? No, that's very real. And this is why my work is different from a lot of mystical spiritual people, is that I blend the 5D and the 3D. Like it's all about taking what exists in the quantum field in the 5D in your crown chakra, the divine downloads that each of us are chosen to birth, what you are chosen to birth, and bringing it into the 3D and being very fully landed in your human body and not bypassing the human experience. It's not like, oh, global warming isn't real, and oh, this war isn't real, and oh, these, you know, I'm trying to think of which thing to talk about. There's so much going on right now. This injustice isn't real. It's like, no, it's real. It's a circumstance that exists. And we are each powerful creators of our own reality, right? And there's so many layers to this. There's so many layers to the nervous system and the subconscious mind. But today's episode is really just a mindset that I really want to flip the switch in your mind as, okay, life is a game and you came here to win. And here's how I'm going to be teaching you, okay, how to gamify your life and win on repeat. And so I went to really start this off. I was like, why do we play games? Why do we play games? What is the point of games? Like, I grew up in a family, we played all kinds of games, right? We played board games, we played card games, we played sports outside, we played all kinds of games. And I looked up the definition of games, and it is a form of play or sport. And it's a played according to rules, and it's decided on by skill, strength, or luck. Okay. And I loved this definition. I started smiling so big when I found this definition because I was like, wow, it's a form of play or sport. So when we think about the art of creation, right? If we're creating our own reality and we're creating our lives and we're creating a better world, creativity comes from play. It comes from a state of play. We come back to the inner child. Like the inner child is so creative, so joyful, so free, knows exactly what to do all the time. And it's really like, okay, we're playing this game and it's a sport and it's fun. It really has this essence of fun to it. Like, so making it a game, like making it a game. So I really am going to go over this and then I'm going to walk you through 5 steps, I guess, 5-step framework. But it's all about making it a game, like something that we can do as humans, especially when there's challenge, especially when there's adversity, is like we can get so overly serious. We can get so down. We can get pulled down into a downward spiral. And I even experienced that. Like I had so much emotion come up. I was like about leaving Maui and all of this stuff. And I was like, oh my God. And I was really in it. And then I was like, if this was a game, okay, if I was gamifying my life, which is something that I do all the time, I do it every day. And I actually ask myself, like, if I were to SWAT team this day and make it a game and win, what would I do? What does winning look like? Okay, and what would I do? Like, how do I play? What are the rules, right? And so, but it brings in this element of joy. experimentation, expression, levity, fun. When we make things overly serious and overly important all the time, then we lose this essence of gamifying it. And when it's a game, it's fun and it's a challenge at the same time. So it's really important. And it's a form of play. It's a form of sport. And play and sport have fun in them. So it's really just allowing it to be fun. Like gamify your life. Make it a game. Oh, how many clients can I book this month? I want to make it a game. Oh, what would the rules be? What are the steps? What is the path? Like all of these things. And then all of a sudden these all these ideas come through. And it's like, if I were to lose 10 pounds in the next 3 months and I make it a game, like, how can I make it fun? Like, and you're like, oh, I did this workout yesterday. Now I'm going to do this today and see if I can, beat my record. Like that's making it a game, right? And I love the second part of this definition where it's like played according to rules. Like there are rules to every single game. The game of life has rules, and we're going to get into that. However, most people move through life playing the game that the Matrix handed out to them and playing by the rules that they were spoon-fed by the Matrix. And so I once did a podcast episode, you can go back and listen to it, and it's called How to Place an Order with the Universe. And I share all about a trip I went on where I was just really seeing and witnessing the magic of manifestation in real time in my life. And I said something like, be willing to order off the menu. Like the Matrix and the 3D world we live in, they are not going to hand you a menu with your dream on it. They're going to say, these are the options: doctor, lawyer, teacher, college, retire in Florida, get married. Like they're going to have all of those options on there. But your dreams, especially if you're a leader, especially if you are blazing a new path, like all of us here are, like, if you listen to my podcast, you have a deep purpose for the world. And you have a deep purpose of becoming the person and the leader you came here to be, to create, to innovate, to make massive change on the planet. Like you are not going to be playing and ordering off the menu of the status quo. Okay. So you got to be willing to order off the menu. All right. And so the second part of like games, it's playing according to rules. And then it's decided on by skill, strength, or luck. So luck, I've said many times on this podcast, is when preparation and opportunity meet. That is the Stoic Seneca definition of luck. Preparation is how we train ourselves in healing, knowledge, and skill. It is how we study. It is how we prepare our nervous system through healing. And then opportunity is when, events in your life happen. So an opportunity for me would be, oh, I got invited by family to stay, at our cottage for 6 months. Like I didn't expect that, but that's an opportunity that came to me, right? And so I said yes, and I was prepared, I had prepared through all of these different ways that I could say yes. And so with the strength and the skill, it's like, yes, there are skills you must master and achieve to win the game. There are strengths that you must achieve and sustain to win the game, right? Like no athlete wins because they're weak. They win because they trained. They win because they're strong. They win because they're extremely vital and they prioritize their health. They win because they have a skill set that shows up for them no matter what. And then when the opportunities strike, boom, they can do it. So it's all a game. It's all a game and it's all a hologram. And you are the person creating your reality at every single moment. And there is so much available to you in the vortex, in what's beyond the scene. So we are talking a bit about manifestation, but it's like there's so much that exists that we can't see. That and to play and live in this state of like gamifying your life and winning on repeat is to constantly be in relationship with life and possibility beyond your current circumstance. Okay. You cannot get stuck in current circumstance and also gamify your life. Because to get stuck in the current circumstance is to be stuck, is to not be in motion, is to, be in this like, oh, it is the way it is mentality. I don't believe in that. I believe in accepting circumstance and taking responsibility for circumstance as a vehicle to be able to change it, right? We can never change or transmute something that we first don't accept fully, right? And so I know this is hitting home for so many of you. I know there are things coming up where you're like, oh, wow, this is a current challenge for me. So what I'm sharing in this episode, I want you to think about a current challenge. I want you to think about a current goal. I want you to think about something you're working on, something you're exploring, something you're manifesting, something you're building, and think about it through this lens. But it's everything in your life is bendable to your will. You are a powerful co-creator with the universe, okay? And the cool thing is the universe knows way more than each of us and is always trying to find the path of least resistance for us. And so something really cool to know about my current example that I'm using with going to Michigan is I remember I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to swing a trip to the mainland this summer. I've got a lot going on. I'm putting my roots down here still. It's been a big process of, if you really want a spiritual awakening, let me tell you, move across the world by yourself to an island you've never been to. That's all I gotta say. But it was like, I kept saying, I said before I even moved here, I was like, I'm never gonna miss a summer. My nieces are 2 and 5. My grandpa is 91. My parents are in their 70s, I think. I'm pretty sure. They're getting older. I don't want to miss a summer. I said before I even got here, I was like, I'm never going to miss a summer. I'm going to make it my ritual. I'm always going to go back to Michigan in the summer. I'm always going to go back and have family time at the cottage. I'm always going to, I'm prioritizing that family time in the summer. And it's so interesting that it expressed this way. It's like, yeah, I'm definitely not missing a summer. I'm going to be spending most of the summer there and beyond a bit. So it's, I manifested that. And what that is an example of is that the universe is always finding the path of least resistance for your desires to come to be, because your desires are your destiny. Your desires are your destiny. Your desires are a signal for what you are called to create. What are you meant to receive? What are you meant to build and experience in this life? And so it's all a hologram, it's all a game. And when I was really in this like literally what the fuck is happening, because it was between me fully realizing that and getting that invitation and then moving, it will be about 3 weeks time, which is not that long. It's not that long. And then it's just this like deep trust and this knowing. I'm like, okay, my life is a game and I just leveled up. I'm just entering a new level. Like, for whatever reason, this current chapter on Maui right here, right now, the me of today, the 32-year-old me that moved here a year ago, like this current chapter is done and I'm ready to level up. And so I'm leveling up into the next chapter. And it's like, it just brings this levity to it. And like, I have so much excitement. I haven't hugged any of my family or seen any of my family in a year. Like, I'm really, really, really deeply excited about that. I have a lot of emotions come up about it, but it's like staying in this levity of like gamify your life and win on repeat. And so now I am going to just share my framework for you on this topic. And the way that I teach is I teach a lot in storytelling. I teach a lot in my own lived experience because that's that's how I share, and that's how I get all these downloads, is like through my lived experience, I share them. And then I can help you apply them in your life, right? So the first step to gamifying your life and winning on repeat is this. You must choose your game and quit all the rest. So something that I noticed a lot in the past year was like, there are a lot of games that are being played. There are games being played everywhere in life. And we're all playing games at every single moment of every single day. And it's about, okay, what games are you playing? Are you aware of them? And then quitting all the rest. So, one game that a lot of people play, and I'm just going to use business for an example. A lot of people play the game of what I like to call the race to the bottom. They want to make sure that everybody can afford their stuff. They want to make sure it's accessible to everybody. They want to serve everybody. And so what do? They end up burning out. They end up charging literally barely little to nothing for their work. They end up being broke, burnt out, and then their quality is really, really, really low because of that. And it's a race to the bottom. Like, so many people are playing that game. And it's a game to me of people pleasing and lack of discipline and lack of really just holding power. It's this race to the bottom, right? And so I decided a long time ago, I'm not going to play the race to the bottom. I'm just not even going to play that game. And another game that a lot of people play is like, oh, like, got to be posting on social media 3 times a day or else you don't care about your vision. And I was like, I'm not even going to play that game. I'm not even going to play that game. So I really want you to decide and reflect on, okay, choose your game and quit all the rest. You can't play every game. You got to play your own game. And you've got to really get specific about playing a few key games and playing them well in the long game. All right. No pun intended when I said long game, but it's like, quit all the rest and make sure it aligns with your values. If you're noticing that you're playing a game that doesn't align with your values, quit the game. Quit the game. All right. It's so easy to get sucked into these things. So I really want you to just think about a challenge, a goal, something you're creating. What game are you playing? So for me, the games that I'm playing right now are game of client creation. I am really magnetizing, calling in, excited for one-on-one clients, and I have some really, really, really exciting, amazing long-term thing coming up with Julia Phoenix and I that we have not announced publicly yet, but let's just say it's going to be fucking epic, and it's coming in fall 2024. So if you want the details on that, make sure you are on my email list. Choose your game. You're playing games already. Are you aware of them? Are you playing a game that's a race to the bottom? Are you playing a game of people pleasing? Are you playing a game of operating in the matrix when you don't even believe in it? Okay. So all of that. One example of this was, I'll just be transparent here. When I came to Maui, I was like, oh, it'd be really fun to do some mindful music on Maui. Like, I would love that. Like, I love teaching piano. I love what I created. Like, that would be amazing. And the culture shock that I experienced here in terms of just the way people operate and you know live their lives, I guess I would say. I encountered so much group think where people were like, oh my gosh, we would love to have you come teach piano and come to our house and everything. And I got so excited. And then it was like, people are not willing to pay. And I even explored with different rates because I was like, okay, it's a different market. I'm new here. Like I'm willing to explore. I'm willing to be innovative, creative. Like, and then it got to a certain point in my awareness where I was like, this isn't the market. This is this is a game that people play where they don't value one another, and I'm not willing to play it. And so I did the challenging thing of like, okay, like I'm going to release this because I'm not going to play this game. I'm not going to play this game where people don't value me. I'm not going to play this game where people are looking for the cheapest option, you know? And so that was just one example for me where I was like, it was a very, very, very deep scarcity programming. And I was like, I'm not playing this game. I'm not playing this game. I'm going to play my own game. I'm going to play my own game, right? And so that's just one example, but most people are playing games they don't even realize that they're playing. So I want you to get really clear and choose your game and quit all the rest. All right? And make sure it's in alignment with your values, because for me, what I realized is that for me to do that would be breaking my own boundaries and breaking my own values, and I'm simply not willing to do that. So I said, hey, I'm not playing this game. I'm not playing this game. Okay, and so then step 2 in the framework is decide and define. Okay, then you're making your life a game, right? You're gamifying your life. You're customizing your life game. Okay, you get to decide what the game is, and you get to define it in terms of what winning looks like and what the rules are. Okay, so a lot of people think this about freedom, about being spiritual, about, being intuitive, is that ultimate freedom means having no structure and no rules and just be able to do whatever you want, whenever you want. That's not actual freedom. Okay. That is lack of decision and commitment, and it doesn't create results. It doesn't create anything. It doesn't create a win, right? Like if you're trying to, I take the example of like baseball. If you're trying to catch something, capture something, and that's what we're doing, right? We're receiving, we're capturing downloads, we're creating. You can't catch it without a mitt. You have to have something to contain it. Without a baseball glove, other people call it. That's the thing, is if you have zero rules, it doesn't matter if it's your game or someone else's. There's always going to be rules that you get to play by. Okay. And a game without rules isn't a game. It's just not fully living, in my opinion. So you decide what winning is. So whatever goal and dream you have, it's like, what does winning mean to me? Okay, so some examples for me is like, winning means to me that I'm making a difference every day, that I'm lit up by my purpose, that I love what I'm doing, that I get to work with amazing, amazing souls and help them make their creations, that I have time and location freedom. Okay, like that's winning to me. And then I also have very measurable, specific wins in terms of like, okay, like this amount of revenue, like this amount of cash flow, this amount of workouts per week, right? And so it's got to be measurable and on your terms. So choose the win, choose what winning looks like to you, and then you develop your rules. Okay, so remember, it's not about not having rules, it's you choose the rules and you play by your own rules. Okay, so one of my rules is I move my body every single day, and 5 days a week I'm doing strength training. Those are the rules I play by in my game of life. Why? Because they make me strong, they make me skilled, they clear my mind, they make me healthy. They, increase my mood like tenfold. Like if I don't move my body, you probably don't want to be around me. It's not the real Adrian. It's not the best Adrian. Okay. And so those are the rules that I play by, and I follow through on my rules. Okay. Right. Other rules. There are certain days and certain times I don't take calls. All right. Other rule. I'm recording this podcast on a Monday. I do my podcast on Mondays. And it's like, these rules are not oppressive. They are freedom. They are structure for your life. They are you stewarding your time and your energy and your resources. Other rules are like, my values, and I don't break them. It's like, okay, if this is a game we're playing, we know how to win, and here are the rules, then you go forward and you just go and you allow yourself to be unbridled in the actions you take, in the creations you make, in the solutions you find, like all of that. But it's like, you've got to decide and define what winning is and what your rules are. So this really comes down to discipline. It comes down to measuring, but it's all on your terms, right? You're gamifying your life. You're making it a game. Like if we play the game Chutes and Ladders, some of the rules are, okay, if I, get to a ladder, I can climb up. Amazing. If I get to a chute, I'm going to fall down, right? Same thing in life. There are rules that you play by. So I hope this is landing. And I really want you to be bringing forward specific things in your life that you think this applies to. Okay, the next thing is a third thing. You're going to celebrate and expect the levels. So this is when we see and we think about it as more of like a video game. It's like, okay, every time you level up, there's going to be new challenges, new things to overcome, new terrain, new environment, right? And so that's what I'm in right now in my game, is like, I'm in a level up. Okay. Like for whatever reason, I don't want to say the word mastered, but the level of like Adrian moves to Maui, having never been here, this level is complete. I learned so much. I can't even tell you how much I've changed and transformed in my year here, and how much more deeply I love and respect myself, and I'm in right relationship with the land and know myself and all of these things. And it really is, it's time, it's time for the next level. And so I start to get really excited when I, think about, I'm like, okay, I'm flying to Michigan. What's the next level? Like, what are the new things I'm going to be figuring out? And it's like, you're going to get all new challenges. You're going to get all new things to adapt to. And it's important to, when you meet these new challenges, know that, okay, I just leveled up in the video game. I just leveled up in the game. Okay. And so it's, again, keeping that levity and that playfulness and that joy and that fun to it. It's like, oh, baby, I'm here for another level. I'm here for another level. And it's like, and you stay on this level until you beat it, right? And then you advance, and then you advance, and then you advance. And the cool thing about life is we're never going to stop leveling up. There's always going to be new iterations. There's always going to be new challenges in the game of life. But the thing is, when you make it a game, it's fun. It's not doomsday. It's like, I really was just leaning into, it's so easy, especially right now. We have a lot of challenging astrology in July 2024. I have a YouTube video on that. If you go to my YouTube and you want to check it out, we have the US elections approaching in November 2024. Like, there just is so much going on, and it's really easy to get stuck in games we don't believe in, stuck in matrix games. We get to play our own game, and we remember that it's a game and that it's fun, and we came here for magic and joy and delight. And that doesn't mean they're not challenges, but it's like a samurai with their sword. It's like, yes, I accept my path. I accept this challenge and I will rise to it. It's like, challenge accepted, level up, baby. And so you're going to expect and celebrate the levels up as you go. So this is what I'm in right now. I'm like, oh, this is a major level up. This is a major level up, but I fully don't understand it yet, but here we go. And the only time you can, quote unquote, fuck it up is resist it. Resist the truth of your knowing. Resist where you know you're being called. Not go, not get support. Do you realize how many of my close friends I've talked to in this transition? I've talked to my mentors. I've had healings. Like, it's been really intense for me. And it's like part of the playing games is like you get to have breaks. You have a team, right? You have a team. Like, are we playing a team sport with New Earth? Abso-fucking-lutely, okay? We each have our own individual game, right? You're gamifying your own life, and you have your rules, and you know what winning means for you. But if you're here in this community, it also is, we're all playing the game of New Earth, okay? We're all making dreams where it's like, ooh, when I make my dream, it contributes to a better world in this way. And when they make theirs, it does it in this way. And then bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. And then guess what? One day, how do we know we won? We built a world we're proud of. Yes. 1,000 times yes to that. Okay, so this is not only a way of life, it's a mindset and it's a heart set. And this is how you can win on repeat, because when you have the GPS of your life set for, okay, I know the game I'm playing, the game is fun, the game is supposed to challenge me. It's not supposed to be easy all the time, even though there's going to be moments of relaxation and ease, but it's fun. Like, human beings are happiest when they're progressing. The key to staying stuck is, or the key to happiness is progress and growth and learning. Being unhappy means you're not growing, you're not learning, you're not progressing. So if you find yourself in that position, identify the game of your life. And one of the rules is I'm always learning. I'm always learning something. And win on repeat. When you have your GPS, you know where you're going, you've identified what it looks like, you have the rules that you chose for yourself, you know your game, it's fun, it's joyful, you're in it, you're taking action, because it's like you can choose your game all day long. You're not actually playing the game until you get in the arena. All right. And a lot of people just sitting on the sidelines. Don't let that be you. And then the last thing I want to say is, for the love of the game, for the love of the game, like, why do you keep playing? Why do you keep playing the game of life? Why do you keep playing your game? Why do you keep doing it? For the love of the game. You don't want the magic to stop. You don't want the creation to stop. You don't want the love, the abundance, the joy, the change, the fulfillment to stop, the peace, the satisfaction, the success. You don't want it to stop. And it's the love of the process, right? It is, it's the wins, but it's the game. It's like, ooh, it's when you finish a game, you're playing something, and it's like, oh, let's play again. Let's play again. Let's play again, because it's fun. It's fun in the process. So this whole episode is really just returning to this fun and joy, and, okay, gamifying your life to win on repeat. When you live from this state, you will win on repeat. When you decide to never stop until you complete each level, you will win on repeat. The only way you cannot is if you break your own rules, you're not willing to adapt, you don't have this positive, playful, fun mindset, and you decide that external circumstance are going to define your internal reality and your future. That's the only way you can not win. So when I operate from this place of gamifying your life and choosing your game, quitting all the rest, deciding and defining your wins and your rules and abiding by them relentlessly, celebrating and expecting the levels, and remembering it's all about the love of the game, you will win on repeat for yourself and for a world we're proud of. So as we wrap up this episode, I really just want you to reflect on, what games are you playing? What games are you playing? Do you even believe in them? Are they a game that was doled out to you? Like, did you even choose it? Does it align with your current values? Okay. What level and challenge are you facing? And how could you view it as like a video game? How could you make it more fun? How could you make it more joyful? Do you play by your own rules? Or are they rules given out to you? Like, oh, I have to work 9 to 5. Are they rules given out to you? Like, oh, I have to go, to this family thing because that's what I've always done. Or are you playing by your own rules? Like for me, it's like a rule that I didn't know that I was playing by is like, oh, you got to live in one place. And I think honestly, my soul really craves that at a certain point. And there's so much of the world I haven't seen. So what if the rule I have now is like, I am my own home, right? So do you play by your own rules? So let's say you have a rule of like, okay, I'm going to reach out to 3 different people every day about my work and share with them what I'm up to. Do you actually follow through with that, or do you break your own rules? Because if you break your own rules, how do you expect to win your game? You won't, because you're breaking the rules. How does it play into New Earth? How does your game and gamifying your life and winning on repeat and your rules and all of this, how does it play into New Earth? So that's what I have for you today on this beautiful episode of About a World with Adrienne. I would love to hear from you. What game are you playing? How are you gamifying your life? How are you going to win on repeat? Like, please reach out to me. You can email me in the show notes. You can message me on Instagram and let me know at I am Adrienne. And if you feel called into gamifying your life, if you want to play this game, if you want to create in this energy, if you want to work with me one-on-one, I am welcoming in one-on-one mentorship clients for the rest of 2024. So this is where I am your daily mentor, your daily coach. I'm your personal astrologer. I'm your personal breathwork facilitator. We work on literally anything and everything in your life for you to self-actualize, live your potential, and walk your destiny path for yourself and contributing to a world we're proud of. So if this is you, go to the link in the show notes and apply. I can't wait to get your application. I can't wait to tune in about what you're creating, just and really helping you win. I'm here to help you win. I am here to help you win. Like my purpose in life is to help you win. That's the name of the game. So go to the link in the show notes. There are also one-on-one sessions available in July 2024. Depending on when you tune into this episode, there may or may not be one-on-one sessions available. I cannot guarantee anything, but go to the link in the show notes and just explore what's available for you there. There are definitely one-on-one mentorship spots available. So go apply, book a session. I just love you all. Like, and if you have been listening to the podcast for a while and you've never worked with me, maybe now's the time. Maybe now's the time for you to say, hey, the next 6 months of 2024, I am going to change my life. I am going to play the game. I am going to bend the rules to my will to create what I came here to create and to become the person I came here to become. So if that's you, go apply through the link in the show notes. Go out there. Have an amazing day. Be the change, be the light, be the real you. Go make a stranger smile because it charges the whole field and you have no idea the positive impact that can make. Remember that your ideas matter. You are amazing. You are beautiful. You are loved. You are right on time. And I will see you next time on A Better World with Adrienne.